And welcome to World Talks here on TVP World with me, Ashim Kumar. On Tuesday evening, local time, South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol unexpectedly declared, quote, emergency martial law, accusing the main opposition party of aligning with North Korea and exerting control over parliament. But within hours, it had been blocked by the country's National Assembly. In 2022, Poland signed a deal with South Korea for 180 K2 tanks, with half to be manufactured domestically. Poland is also seeking an additional 180 tanks, Chunmoo rocket artillery launchers, K9 self-propelled howitzers and Fa-50 combat trainer aircraft. What impact is the declaration of martial law going to have on the sizable military cooperation between Poland and South Korea? Well, to explore this question, we're joined by Dr. Jacek Raubo. He's Director, Analysis Department, Defence 24, and a regular contributor. Dr. Raubo, welcome back to TVP World. Thanks for taking the time.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
Pleasure as always. So, as I just laid out, a long list of, long shopping list, yes, of military equipment from South Korea. Big picture, does this declaration of martial law and its lifting have any impact on that shopping list?
I think we need to balance emotions and the practical side of this bilateral relation dedicated to strength military cooperation in the context of procurements and also the common programs, military programs. So I think we need to focus on the situation inside the Republic of Korea. This is a very difficult time for them, for the democracy, and also for the situation outside Korea, because Republic of Korea is a very strong part of the Indo-PACOM situation. They are playing a vital role in this international relation architecture dedicated to stabilization of the whole and even sometimes global situations. On the other hand, I'm not so sure that we are alone with this problem, because the Republic of Korea is a big exporter. That's why we need to have this global background when we think about Polish and Korean relations. So I'm much more careful with any sharp phases right now. For Koreans, this is also important to present them as a very stable industry and stable exporter, because we know that the rivalry between the different states and different firms on the military market is sometimes very important and also very hard. So I hope that they will achieve some political consensus, and there will be no impact on the military export from Korea, not only to Poland, but also to our allies in NATO, because we know that the Republic of Korea is cooperating strictly with other NATO members.
Right.
So
we think this is just a blip?
I think we need to be sure that we need to see situation in the PACOM. I think this is the best example why we need to watch what is going on there. On the other hand, we need to be we need to build some kind of a resilience towards some emotions coming from this kind of a turmoil, from their internal policy.
So control our emotions and let's just see what happens.
Yeah, now, we need to balance everything.
Okay, balance is the key word. Now, Poland's defense minister said on X that monitoring the situation in South Korea, constant touch with our attaché in Seoul and his South Korean counterpart in Poland. What do you think was being discussed there?
I suppose mostly Republic of Korea need to emphasize that they will be a stable partner to Poland, and they would like to save all of their surrounding atmosphere of this procurements and modernization program. So I hope right now Republic of Korea will give more in this info domain to secure this stable relation between both states. So I think it's a
Understood.
typical diplomatic action.
Understood. Well, you talk about Poland and you talk about South Korea sharing more information in the public domain. What about the other way around? Do you think that Poland has an opportunity here to influence the relationship between the two countries?
I suppose we need to see Republic of Korea as a crucial partner, not only when we think about our own interest in procuring some, for instance, main battle tanks, because Republic of Korea is very close to NATO. We remember from the Vilnius summit and also from the Washington summit that this is one of the states from this Indo-PACOM region very close collaborating with NATO to strengthen this stabilization between different regions and, as I mentioned before, in this global perspective. That's why I think this is not only a kind of a Polish problem right now. We are having this opportunity to share our emotions and share our knowledge with our partners. And I think also Republic of Korea is open, even when they have this very difficult times due to the political issues inside internal relations.
Right. So a bit of a road bump, but we expect relationship to continue.
I suppose
unaffected.
They want to stabilize situation. They want to present themselves as a very strong partner because they have interest here. And they have not only military interest, they have also political interest to have the stabilization between Europe and also this transatlantic zone with Indo-PACOM.
Understood. I want to move on now to the topic of drones. The Polish Ministry of Defense has signed a contract to supply 52 fly-eye reconnaissance drones produced by the Polish company WB Electronics, a value about 100 million Polish zloty. Now, excuse me, it's a nice order, isn't it, for the company, and especially one that doesn't have much experience in providing military equipment.
I'm very proud that this kind of procurement is right now visible also when we think about the media, and this debate in our studio is a great example of that. Why? Because WB are providing very sophisticated technologies on fly-eyes, warmates, and they're the key elements right now. On the other hand, we are able as Poland to have a strong impact inside the drone market. And also when we think about the counter-drone technologies, I'm talking also about some kind of connection between research and development actions and typical practical military power, because right now we are inside the race. This is not typical arm race we had during the Cold War. This is a much more complex situation with, for instance, innovation ecosystem created by not only military actors or governmental institutions, but also with the private sector, like the firms, producers of sophisticated drones. That's why I hope this is not only the small step, this is the first move to open this river of similar procurements coming from maybe other firms, but also from WNB.
Understood. So are you suggesting that Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine has actually triggered a restructuring of the military infrastructure within Europe?
Truly, we cannot avoid this debate right now in every part of Europe, because the impact of Russian illegal aggression against Ukraine is clear, and drone warfare is the part of our response. Why? Mostly because we are observing and we are taking lessons learned from the Ukrainian and Russian side. On the other hand, we are watching closely that, for instance, some of drone technologies can support our actions in all domains. Because generally, when we think about drones, we are watching this drone warfare in air domain. But on the other hand, right now we are talking and we are discussing a lot about the maritime security and the Baltic security. And we cannot afford to be late with some maritime technologies. Unmanned platforms need to be implemented very fast to our naval structures and also this unmanned platforms need to be placed in our land forces. So the race is very hard and very fast, and we need to be inside. And we need to be inside, we need to have a strong R&D sector, and we need to invest more in Polish firms, in Polish innovation ecosystem.
So, I mean, we've seen, haven't we, how Ukraine has used innovation and small technology, if we can put it like that, to really make a difference on the battlefield. And you said we've learned some lessons from that. What about the Trump effect? Trump has made it very clear that he wants NATO countries to pay their fair share. He's also made a comment about, well, Putin can do what he likes if countries don't do that. Do you think that has also triggered this shift in European military equipment manufacture?
I think there is a consensus where United States are in the structure of the transatlantic security. They are the crucial part of that. So when we have a new government, when we have a new president, when we will have a new president from the January 20th, we will see impact on every aspect. Not only military, but also...
But he's already having an impact, isn't he? I mean...
I suppose this is a very constant situation coming from 2022. Every U.S. president need to put a pressure on Europe's side after the Cold War. Why? Because we lost this balance of quality and quantity. We lost a lot of our capabilities and capacity when we think about armed forces. And we need to refresh our approach. We need to rebuild our military industry. We need to rebuild our capabilities when we think about this both sides of every armed forces, quality and quantity. And we cannot afford right now to slow down, for instance, investments in procurement, but also we cannot be out of the race when we think about emerging and disruptive technologies. So we need to spend more. Unfortunately, because of Russia, because of Iranian policy toward Russia, and also DPRK is active. So we have big mess around us, also very close to our borders when we think about the European security zone. That's why I think the Trump effect is a very media message which is coming from almost every outlet right now. On the other hand, I think the biggest impact is the Putin impact.
Is the Putin impact. Okay, very quickly, if you would, Dr. Raubo. We've seen the impact that missiles have made on Ukrainian infrastructure, energy, and so on. In terms, if you were to draw up a list, a priority list, what do you think Europe should be focusing on now? Missiles, ammunition, tanks, drones, what?
I suppose we cannot afford to stop in one place to strengthen another. We need to have the classical ammunition for our howitzers. On the other hand, we cannot afford to stop our investments in quantitative computing. So, because we will be out of the race with China. So that's why it is so sophisticated and complex situation we are dealing with. And I think there is no space to stop, and there is no space to strengthen. We need to be balanced in our actions toward our military procurements and also building this R&D, truly.
So all of the above?
Unfortunately.
Dr. Raubo, thank you very much for sharing
much.
your expertise with our audience. And that's all from us in this episode of World Talks. Good night.